like I said, man, you are underappreciated, underrespected in this game. I always tell everybody, Berner is richer than all of the rappers. Like,
you know, and I don't even try to think like that.
No, but I listen, I be having arguments for you when you ain't around, and I be like, yo, like legit, and I'm not saying no names, but I don't know anybody in hip hop outside of maybe Dr. Dre or maybe Diddy, you know, maybe, you know, the guys we think of, and these are more executives at this point. But when we're talking, like, I don't know anybody who's fucking with you when it comes to net worth, buddy, at this point.
Right before I came in here, there's a post that went up. Apparently, there's been a lot of really significant changes in the wealth of the top hip hop personalities. So, and this is coming from Rolling Stone. So,
Diddy up the scope. Berner.
We can assume that Rolling Stone has a lot of reason to try to be honest about this. So, Jay-Z, number one, $1.5 billion. Diddy, and obviously this is approximate, and a lot of these people would say that this is going to be different, whatever. But Diddy, $1 billion. Kanye West, $500 million. So it would have dropped very significantly since the recent calamity. And then Berner is now said to be worth $410 million. And then finally, Dr. Dre is in fifth at $400 million. But if there's one thing that I really get from looking at this, it's that you're not going to get stupid rich making music.
No, right.
You can make a lot of money making music, but at the end of the day, the top tier is all people who have gone into other side ventures and created all, like Jay-Z with his management company and liquor, and Diddy's liquor, and obviously the music side is huge and everything. But then with Berner, it's like, I am surprised to read that. I had no idea that it was going to be in that.
In fact, you know that.
Yeah, but I just didn't know it was going to be like that.
Within the next few years, I anticipate Berner to be the richest. And I'll tell you why.
100%.
As legislation continues to change and they're legalizing and not only decriminalizing it, but making it recreational in all these different states.
He got front row seats to everything.
Yeah, that he's literally like the Walmart of marijuana.
I've learned throughout my young life to never, ever underestimate someone, because you never know how things could turn out. Welcome to High Design Music, a sub-series of High Design where we're going to examine the music industry and the business behind that industry. Now, as y'all can see by the clips from the Bootleg Kev podcast and the No Jumper podcast, news just broke a few days ago via the Rolling Stone magazine that there's been a little bit of shuffling in the top 5 richest rappers list. And most notably, as y'all can see, the big surprise to many in hip-hop media is that Berner is now the 4th richest rapper in the world. Now, this isn't necessarily a surprise to me, but it was a surprise to see that Berner surpassed the likes of Dr. Dre. Until I read the Rolling Stones article where journalist Richest Paul writes, quote, "Rounding out the list are 2 artists heading in seemingly opposite directions, one falling as the other one rises. Gilbert Berner Malam lands in the 4th position on the list with a net worth of $410 million, thanks in large part to his Bay Area plant empire cookies. Berner, who is also a rapper, maintains an estimated 30% stake in the company and is predicted to reach billionaire status in the future." End quote. Richest Paul would continue to write, quote, "Dr. Dre trails closely behind Berner with a $400 million net worth, though he isn't expected to see that number rise as much as his competition, despite once having a net worth of $800 million. Dre's fortune has dwindled from the creation of Music Academy with Jimmy Iovine, which cost him $70 million, and the $40 million purchase of Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen's Los Angeles mansion. By the end of the year, Dr. Dre is expected to hand over another $50 million as part of a $100 million settlement paid to his ex-wife, half of which has already been paid." End quote. Now, whether or not these evaluations of these rappers are actually correct to the exact dollar amount, well, that's for another video, especially when we start to think about maybe some other rappers that could potentially be in that list, that top 5 list, but like I said, that's for another video. But I think what this really tells us is, like Adam22 said in that clip I showed earlier, that if you really want to make hundreds of millions of dollars, usually it's not going to be through music. Unless you're in a generational act, and even then trying to reach a billionaire status, well, that's going to be extremely hard to do through just doing music. The lesson I think we should take away from this is that music, media, and other entertainers need to look at building companies that you own so that your media can help promote it. Many believe that the next era of billionaires are going to be people in the music and media industry. We started to see people like Kylie Jenner, Rihanna, Jay-Z, and others start to amass fortunes and reach billionaire status. And it's mainly due to the fact that they leverage their platforms into ownership stakes in companies and then help promote those companies via their platforms. For example, with Rihanna, she has her makeup company. Same with Kylie Jenner. Jay-Z owns a number of different companies as well. But we've started to see these people start to amass these fortunes and reach billionaire status. And it's mainly due to the fact that they leverage their platforms into ownership stakes in companies and then help those companies via their platforms. While music has started to create billionaires, I do think we're going to start to see YouTubers and other content creators start to break into the billionaire status within the next 10 years, maybe a little longer. But when we look at folks like Mr. Beast and the Nelk Boys, those are some of the people that come to mind in that regard. Now, going back to Berner, I think this news of him now entering the top 5 richest rappers list has opened people's eyes, because when we talk about all the other rappers that are on this list, you see generational music acts that have countless #1 charting songs or albums. Yet with Berner, we see a Bay Area rapper that hasn't had even close to the success that people like Jay-Z, Kanye, Diddy, or Dr. Dre have had. What we see with Berner is an independent artist who signed to Ghazi's Empire Music Distribution Company many years ago, where over time, pretty much as an independent artist, Berner built a niche but devoted audience that eventually he would, at the perfect time, merge his music career with him founding the Cookies brand and clothing company. While I think musicians/rappers as well as other folks in the media need to learn the core message that to become actually really, really wealthy, you need to leverage your platform and the following into actual companies that you have equity in. Yet, I do think that the story of Berner specifically is a really unique one. A story of perfect timing and fate in many ways. Now, this is not to say that Berner isn't extremely business savvy or that he just got lucky, but more so to say that an emerging industry of this size and proportion being legalized doesn't come along too often. And the fact that Berner was born at the perfect time and place, well, you can't deny that's pretty much what we call fate. He was born into a family where he was taught the meaning of hard work via his parents. He learned and worked in this emerging industry in one of the few places you would be able to in the entire world via California. He had a love for media and music that he would always be pursuing via his hip-hop career/brand. And he utilized the internet pretty well via YouTube and other platforms pretty early on. If you haven't seen the first High Design episode I ever did, which was on Berner and the Cookies Empire, I highly recommend you go and watch that. It will help you understand his full story and business come up. But for real, Berner definitely has really opened the eyes of everyone in the music industry, I think. You don't need to have a bunch of #1 albums or top 10 Billboard charting songs to build companies that could potentially make you a billionaire. While yes, it's going to be extremely hard, it can't be denied that the game is changing. Build your leverage in that of building your fan base, and when the right time, opportunity, and market appears in front of you, make sure you capitalize on it. Congratulations to Berner. Anyways, if you like this quick High Design music episode, please share this, subscribe, and comment down below. Anyways, this is LMC, signing out.